Welcome to the Fractional Diary series by Project Brains. Here we explore the dynamic landscape of the future of work. Join us and our expert guests as we unravel the evolving corporate world and the booming startup spaces. At Project Brains, we specialize in helping ambitious businesses scale. Our team is dedicated to matching experienced professionals with businesses who wish to realize value on a fractional basis. Ultimately, with a little time, focused fractional specialists aim to solve business pain points and remove growth barriers. Today, we are talking to Susan Gibson. Sue is a HR consultant that provides flexible and practical support to boards, management teams, HR teams, VCs, and line managers for over 14 years. She has extensive experience in global HR management, change management, strategic HR leadership across various sectors, including technology, education, legal, and manufacturing. She is also a governor at the St. Mary's Girls' School in Cambridge, where her role contributes to the strategic direction and governance of the school. Sue is passionate about working with senior leaders and teams to create great places to work and to attract and retain talent. She also has extensive experience running an HR team within a large corporate such as Asda. In her experience, she has been involved in a number of startup projects, assisted leadership teams with the people and talent strategies, setting up offices globally, understanding how to incorporate different styles of working and to create innovative cultures to engage and retain your staff. Sue has also facilitated and developed strategic learner and development programs for leaders and managers and coached senior executives on HR issues. Finally, in her career, she has also successfully completed due diligences and exit processes for businesses leading the HR requirements and communication needs. Welcome, Sue. Thank you for talking to us today. Welcome back, Sue. I really enjoyed our last two episodes because you've sort of, I would say, validated some of the hypotheses that we are sort of seeing in the work that we do at Project Brains. I want to talk a little bit about new sectors and new industries and sort of how talent kind of rotates and gravitates into these new spaces. Particularly, we see a lot of fractional talent going towards the renewable sector. And I know that you've also worked in, for example, a startup kind of environment in many of your sort of experience set, in your skill set. But how would you say a technical sector such as renewables is starting to build talent and skills profiles? Because particularly, let's say I come from financial services and I'd want to work in a renewables environment because my new passion goes towards that kind of industry. How would you kind of look at talent profiles, skills profiles in this kind of shift or pop-up, as I can say?
Well, I have worked in the renewable sector in lithium batteries and carbon capture type of things and some others. And it's very interesting because I think there are various ways that people come into it. They've very definitely got the people who've got the technical know-how and or the PhDs or the research or whatever it might be who come into that sector bringing that absolute expertise in. You then might have carrying out the technical side, you've got people who are experienced, who may have been in large corporates or other startups where they've grown the team or they've been part of that business development and they bring a level of business experience and the technical, maybe not completely up-to-date technical, but they've run technical teams. So you've obviously got the technical stream. I think you've then got the other side, which is the support side. And you might have your finances or your commercial procurement, your legal, those types of things. And when we talk about fractional stuff, actually, you would probably bring people in to do set pieces of work. They may or may not have worked in renewables, but quite often, as long as you think about getting people who are absolutely capable, have the ability to learn, don't come in with fixed ideas that this is how I've done it previously, so this is how we're going to do it now. Going back to the 5 generations, which I know is a very hot topic at the moment, you need to span your experiences. So you've got the people who come in who are very newbie to the work environment, who bring a sense of vigor, because they're really invigorated about the planet or renewables or whatever. They come in with a very motivational feel about the environment.
Purpose, sort of.
Purpose. And then you've got, as you go through the different sectors and you get to Generation 5 or 1, whichever way it is, people at a different end of their career could bring a lot of business experience. So you might want somebody who's a CTO or a finance guy, who actually can bring the experiences of perhaps working in other startups, may not have been renewables, may not have been in that sector, but they know how to set things up to be flexible, agile. What do the investors want? What does due diligence mean? So that across the different sectors in different places, but from a technical point of view, you probably are sticking with somebody who's very closely aligned to that technology. But others, it gives lots of opportunities for other people to bring in different skill sets. And I've certainly worked with very motivational CEOs who have that mindset. And I think it is around mindset. It's leaving the old mindset behind and thinking about your, what mindset you need for the future.
Right. It's no longer a space where we can do things the way we've always done it. The world, it does demand a little bit of agility in what we do and how we think about talent. And then just to close off a little bit, Sue, talent management, in your sort of broad experience set, what's different? What's the same? What do you think are the sort of things we should be looking out for, considering all these new things that are happening in the world with social media and AI, etc., etc.?
Well, it is really interesting and fast-paced and changing. But at the end of the day, I think there's three things for me that always I think about is you've got to have somebody who's leading, who absolutely is inspiring, motivational. They need those leadership skills and qualities. You can't get that via an app or AI. You've got to have the management tasks. There has to be people who are going to be doing the work, who make things happen. And I think both of those qualities need to be dovetailed with coaching. So if you are a leader or a manager, you have to actually be able to coach, because if you've got those people who are working with you, they are your talent, and they need those skill set in order to make sure you can develop them and they can be great people in your team. So yes, there's lots of technology that can help things, of course, but I do think you've got to have some of those skills in order to manage your talent.
And that consistent focus on development and skills growth. It's sort of we cannot forget about that, right? We cannot leave it behind.
And making sure that people they know they can drive their own career. It's not up to the leader or the manager. You want people who are hungry, thirst for learning, want to take on, and not afraid to be challenged in things that they feel uncomfortable in.
And also it speaks to sort of the curiosity that we should have as professionals. I mean, I would say 10, 15 years ago, you weren't expected to be curious. You were expected to be methodical, analytical, very much sort of focus on detail. But now I would imagine with the support of technology, we can relax that a little bit of sorts, but we can now start to explore maybe creativity in what we do and bringing in a bit more broader thinking.
There is some great technology that will help you grow your people. It's real time, lots of feedback. There are many ways now to really help managers or leaders for it to become not the once a year discussion around the appraisal. It is real time, it's feedback. And actually I think the key thing is focusing on success. What's going to make that person successful? Because that's what's going to motivate them, rather than all focusing on what they're not good at. So what is it that we can really, really use in this business and utilize their talents and focus on their talents?
And that's why I love this portfolio of fractional working, because I think it's sort of a try before you buy, but at the same time solves a very specific problem that you've thought through, and it really does help you unlock those barriers that you potentially experience in your business operation at the point in time.
Yeah.
Sue, it's been lovely. I cannot believe the time has come. But thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you for having me. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's so much more we can talk about. And hopefully we see you again in the future.
You will. Thank you for your time. Bye.
Hey, thank you.